Alright YouTube, so welcome to our third episode of the Q&A series for the channel. We do this every Sunday. I take questions from all over, be it Twitter, Instagram, anything like that, YouTube itself, YouTube comment section, of course. If you'd like to be a part of the series, all you gotta do is leave me a question anywhere, and we do this every Sunday. And let's get right into it. So first up, Cortez Jones wants to know if I enjoy fighting games, and if so, which ones do I like? I definitely do like them. It's not like my main genre of gaming. I prefer open world RPGs, as my channel can attest to, but I do like Soul Calibur. It's my favorite series out of any kind of fighting games. It was the first one I think I played that kind of took like the 3D aspect almost, where it's not just side scroll. You can go up and down to evade and dodge and things like that. I thought that was really cool. I like the Dragon Ball Z fighting games like Budokai, Tenkaichi. I don't know if y'all have ever played those. Raging Blast is fun as well. And of course like Super Smash Brothers and Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom is probably like my second favorite when it comes to like the fighting games and fighting series and stuff. Swagmaster3000 wants to know if I like memes, and the obvious response to that is, what the fuck are memes? Now we'll move on to some YouTube questions. Bloodborne Survivor wants to know how strong my faith is in Todd Howard. I look to Todd Howard for everything in life. No matter how dark times are, I look at pictures of Todd and I know that I will get through this. He will get me through these dark times. There's nothing he can't do. Through the power of Todd, you can do anything. Through Todd, all things are possible. In Todd, we trust. These next few are similar, so I put them together. Jake's Flipside says, I wish we could make ammo like in New Vegas with the primers and gunpowder. And my dude Barney the Dinosaur says, I miss the ammo variations like in New Vegas, hollow points, armor piercing, etc. Now, first off, I know these aren't actually questions, but I still wanted to talk about them. And I definitely agree with these two, that I definitely miss the different ammo types we had in New Vegas. That was kind of it's really what differentiated it from 3, because it wasn't a big step up from 3. It definitely was a different setting and things like that. But the graphics weren't really improved or anything like that. And this is one of the things that really separates it from that. There was a better crafting system. You could craft your own types of ammo. They had coin shots for the shotguns. You had like fire rounds for the shotguns, explosive rounds for sniper rifles. It was just such a good thing, and it's something I would love to see them bring back. Honestly, GX Flipside said he misses the crafting of the bullets. I never actually did that myself, but I've done it a little bit with the coin shots and things like that, but I really didn't. I usually just bought different rounds. Now this one is also not a question, but it's similar. He mentions wanting the different ammo types, but he also wants the ability to create your own faction, possibly capture, different kinds of mutants or something like a Deathclaw, and use them as like a pet or companion. And that's something that we could definitely see in the next Fallout, because with Nuka World, you got the ability to kind of make your own faction, or at least run your own faction with the Raiders and stuff. That was pretty cool. And then with the Wasteland Workshop, you could actually set up cages, capture, pretty much anything in the Wasteland. So there's definitely something we could see in the future. Now we'll move on to some Instagram questions. DKC Leet wants to know, when is Harold becoming a father? For those of you who don't know, Harold is my male lover, and we are steadily progressing towards getting me pregnant. It'll happen with time. No, Harold's actually my cat, and he's already had, I think, a couple of litters of kittens. I've had him for 2 or 3 years, and there's a lot of stray cats around where I live, and he's definitely got him some action. He gets more action than I do, let's just put it that way. Chris Willow wants to know if I've ever played Morrowind. Now, I haven't, but it actually was my first experience with Elder Scrolls, and probably Bethesda in general. I don't know if I've ever played any like the random older games, but my friend actually, whenever me and him were first hanging out, we met at school or whatever, he had the Xbox, the original Xbox. I had PS2 at the time. And I was over his house just hanging out, and he was playing it. I didn't know what the hell it was. It looked cool as fuck. I don't think I've ever really played a first-person game at that time. But watching him walk around, like talk to people, watching him steal things off the shelves, that was the most appealing thing to me. Because there was like no games I was playing at the time where you could just fucking go around stealing shit in the world. And I thought that was really fucking cool. And I've always wanted to play it since then. I just never got around to it. Speaking of PlayStation 2, False Concepts wants to know what my favorite PS2 games are. Now, when somebody says PlayStation 2 to me, or PS2, the first thing I think of is Shadow of the Colossus. That's probably the most spectacular game that was ever on that console, at least in my opinion, and it's one of the best-selling games ever, one of the most popular games ever, all those things. Other than that, we got Dragon Quest VIII. It's definitely up there for one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Final Fantasy X and 12 were both really, really good. In my opinion, they're kind of negative. Like, people in the Final Fantasy community aren't the biggest fans of those games, but I thought they were great. Final Fantasy X was the last turn-based Final Fantasy, which is really, holds dear to my heart. As I've mentioned on this channel before, I'm a turn-based RPG, turn-based Final Fantasy fan, so I really like 10. Spicy Meanball wants to know how dank his page is on a scale of 1 to 10. I pretty much like all memes, man, as long as I like them to be somewhat offensive sometimes, but it's got to be intelligent humor at the same time, too. So, as long as you got those things, it's a 10. And, of course, your username on Instagram is definitely a 10. Nicholson4 wants to know if I am gay. We already kind of covered this earlier. I definitely have a male lover. But just because me and this dude bang it out every now and then on occasion doesn't mean that I am gay. I'm still attracted to women. I just have a male lover. Jared wants to know if we are friends. Jared, my dude, we are as good of friends as a guy that sells drugs and a guy that buys those drugs from him can be. So yeah, I guess, man, if you're gonna sell me some drugs that I'm looking for, if I'm looking for certain drugs and you have them, then we're best fucking friends. Jager's Brandon wants to know, what do you think you're going to do in your YouTube future, vlogging, etc.? Well, I really like what I already do, doing like news things and kind of tips and things like that for videos and not really lists, but things that I think are good or bad about games and shit like that. But the ultimate goal really is streaming. My internet's it's been hit and miss with streams where sometimes I'm capable of it. A lot of times I'm not capable of it, but that would be the ultimate goal. It's really the best way to grow your channel on YouTube is streaming, and that's something I'd like to be able to do sometime in the future. Also, continuing what we're doing right now, this Q&A stuff is pretty fun for me. I like interacting with people who follow me or subscribe to me, things like that on all those social networks, interacting with them, letting them get to know me and ask me personal questions and things. DJ Creamstar wants to know if I am a part of the Brotherhood of Steel, and the answer is no. I did like them in Fallout 3, wasn't as much of a fan of them in New Vegas. I like them even less in 4, Enclave for life. Joey Miner 52 wants to know what game most exceeded my expectations and what game was the most underwhelming. Exceeding my expectations, it would probably have to be Witcher 3. Now, I know that might be surprising to some people, but I've never played the series before. I didn't know a whole lot about it going into it, only that a Game Informer article that I had read prior to it. And when I picked it up, I didn't realize how big the game was going to be and how great it was. And then underwhelming would probably be either Destiny, which was good for a bit at first, and then other than that would be pretty much the entire Fable series, especially Fable 3. The dude who makes Fable is synonymous for promising more than his games ever deliver, and it was just such an underwhelming series by the end of it. I mean, there's a reason Lionhead Studios is closing down and they're not making any more Fable games. And that's it for this week's Q&A, guys. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you gotta do is leave a comment below, or hit me up on any of the social networks that are also listed below in the description, and you'll definitely be featured. I try to do every single question that comes at me throughout the week. If you went on to enjoy the video, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Follow me on Twitter. Social networks are all linked below. Later, guys.